So we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the new episode of Chit Chat with DABS. And we have new guests today, Priyanjita and Aishwarya. And the common thing between us is we are ex-architects, which they made me to. Hmm. Wait, sorry. So we'll start. I'll introduce you both, right? So Priyanjita, she is right now doing masters in graphic design from NID, and Aishwarya, she is a freelance illustrator. So you guys take over and maybe introduce yourself more.
Okay, I think like you just mentioned exactly, so I think it's pretty given what we
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, like Divya mentioned, I'm a freelance illustrator. I do a lot of things, but right now I'm just focusing on the freelance projects because they're very interesting right now. So yeah, that's about it. And I
Hmm.
also have a small business designing phone cases and other artist merchandise.
Hmm.
Is in progress right now because we're still looking for new vendors and all that. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's about the works that I'm actually working. Over to you, PJ.
Yeah. So, as Divya mentioned, I
Hmm.
have a background in architecture. We all three of us have a background in architecture. That's how we met. That's how we know each
Hmm.
other from Bangalore, from our first job. Uh,
Oh
then,
yeah.
after that, yeah. um, Following that, I took a break in the middle for preparing for like my master's program, and then I got into National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, which is where I'm pursuing my master's. My discipline is graphic design. It's been a year, and it's been like a roller coaster ride. And
We know.
yeah, I'm happy to be
Somehow.
here. Yeah.
Huh.
Yes, we are very
Thanks.
happy to be here, Divya. Thanks for inviting us.
Yes.
Arre, I should thank you for, taking out time and coming on this thing. So what we'll do, I have some questions written, and so this stream is all about like branding on social media, like the maybe the creatives or maybe the color scheme. So all the questions will be related to your this thing, illustrations or maybe design and social media, so like the digital footprint. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'll go on and ask you the first question.
yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I'll start with the easy one, and I want to ask you, like, as designers and having an eye for that, which brand is your favorite, like in terms of like their brand identity on all different social media platforms, like maybe Instagram or everything. So like which brand appeals to you and like why?
Hmm. So it's not a favorite brand. Like it keeps changing every month or so. Like I
Hmm.
keep looking at brands stuff. But right now, I'm more into brands that are visual in all aspects, not just having that they are more than just a logo or a brand typography or things like that. They are more visual, like the experience they provide and the way they communicate, how they voice out their brand identities. I think that is what uh, always captures me, regardless of what brand or how they, put things out visually. More than that, I think this is what kind of captures my attention most of the time. So right now, I don't know. Like there are so many brands. Like I've always liked Apple, for their very minimalistic design aesthetics, and sometimes I even like brands who do a lot of. Usually, when it comes to branding, people like it to be as minimal as possible, so it can be fit into multiple ways of uh, multiple ways of presentation, like it regardless of which platform it is. It's if it's minimal, it's very easy to adapt to different platforms without doing a lot of customizations. So, but I also like brands that break that rules, because it's very new, because they do different stuff for different platforms at the same time, having the entire identity tied together in a single umbrella of a brand name. I think that is also interesting. So, I know it's mix of both worlds. I kind of observe all this, but I don't really have any favorites as of.
Yeah, yeah. Understood. Yeah, even I like the minimal thing, like in the Apple, like how they
Yeah.
do the ads and everything. So they're so like maybe HD quality, I would say, and like easy to consume and remember also. Like the
Mm,
recall
yeah.
value is so much, yeah. So that's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, recall
Features.
value is something that is given a lot of importance when you are designing a brand. Like the visuals, starting
Hmm.
from the logo itself to the
Hmm.
tagline to the logo lockup, how it fits in different platforms, the apps, the digital, like the screens, if it is going to be printed for merch, if it is going to be printed for different publications and different advertisings and stuff like that. Something which
Hmm.
is simple as well as unique. I mean, it's a very easy thing to say, but it becomes so
Yeah.
difficult when you combine it with its keywords. Like every brand has its own
Yeah.
keywords that they stick
Hmm.
to when the logo is being designed. I think that is something uh, which catches my mind. So, for example, if you say brand work, I
Hmm.
can say PhonePe is
Oh,
a
huh.
new
Hmm.
brand that has come up in like the past 5 to 10
Hmm.
years, and
Hmm.
the way they had started, the way it was designed, and the way they have sort of scaled it,
Ha
that
ha.
is something
Yeah, yeah.
I have
Hmm.
appreciated throughout the years. Their colors,
Hmm.
their pattern gallery, their how they have adapted to different hoardings, like for the
Ha.
physical advertisements, for the video advertisements, for advertisements in social media. So everything has their own templates, but the way they have sort of combined the whole thing, I think we lost our
Hmm.
issue.
Yeah, I think she'll come back. Ah, bolo.
Yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
So PhonePe, like being a new brand, I sort of appreciate that. Then you have Paperboat. I really like Paperboat ka branding.
Acha,
Like
paper boat. The
currently
yeah.
what they're doing. So they have
Hmm.
these nostalgic stories which they illustrate and then they post. So they're in there.
Hmm.
Hello.
You are in portrait. Like I don't know.
I think she's in her iPad. That's why.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. पेपर
So,
बोट का मैंने देखा नहीं. मतलब I'll go
like you
next time
can
if I want
go
to do.
and check. So they have these
Hmm.
short stories, not stories,
Hmm.
like a slice of life that they have. They
Yeah.
illustrate and then they connect Paperboat with it. Paperboat
Okay.
as a brand, and their color
Hmm.
palette, their color harmony, their the
Yeah.
logo that they have. It's a word mark, and
Hmm.
the way they have sort of designed the
Hmm.
word mark,
Hmm.
it is catchy,
Okay.
like you will remember it.
अच्छा. हम्म.
The word
पक्का I'll go
itself,
next
Paperboat.
time और फिर मैं देखूंगी.
You know that there is a
Yeah.
boat and then there are some waves and everything, like you
हाँ
don't
हाँ हाँ
remember the exact thing, but you will recall
हाँ.
some part of it. Similarly for
Yeah.
PhonePe, it's a
हाँ.
congruation of Hindi and English. They have done that in the logo, like
हम्म.
uh, that's why people remember it. So
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that So these two brands come to my head. And then there are
Hmm.
brands in which there will be something that will stick with me, like how they
Hmm.
have designed the form of the logo, or how they propagate their
Hmm.
message, what is the vision
Okay.
of that brand. If they're doing it
Hmm.
well, then that becomes their unique selling point, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah,
things
that's what.
like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yes, that I will
I
say.
think phone.
Like, and then I agree with
हाँ,
yeah, continue.
हाँ. नहीं, आई वाज सेइंग कि फोन पे का लाइक कंपटीशन भी बहुत ज्यादा था लाइक विद गूगल पे with other like Paytm, like major competition tha, and somehow like now even if you're paying, you'll just go to phone pay. Like you don't even know other apps. It's just like it comes naturally to you. Just I'll phone pay you, and they don't
Yes.
even like shopkeepers also. They just say phone pay these days, not like
Yeah, yeah,
online payment. The
yeah.
word they use nowadays is phone pay. So yeah, they
Yes.
have like that
It's
amazing
like
product.
it fits in the Indian scenario, in the Indian context very well as a
Huh.
brand.
Hmm.
As the
Yeah.
from phone pay, it has both English and Hindi in it. So like
Hmm.
language wise, it becomes very easy for people to adapt to it.
Hmm.
Then color wise, it's very different when you compare it to different other fintech, like
Hmm.
other apps which you use to pay. Everything
Hmm.
be having blue.
Hmm.
Google has its own branding, that's okay, but
Yes.
others are all like in the shades of blue or
Blue.
green.
They're
Hmm.
very
Hmm.
tech
Hmm.
But phone
Yeah,
pay
because blue. Huh?
stands for security, and people
Huh.
will trust
Huh.
the color and all. But then
Hmm.
we can't hear you, Aisha, Aishwarya.
Can you see now?
थोड़ा सा ब्रेक हो रहा है. हाँ
uh,
हाँ.
Can you now? Yeah.
yes.
हाँ बोलो.
They're
What were you
mostly
saying?
they are mostly very techy colors. Like they're very,
Hmm.
you associate that colors with very security, tech,
Yes.
and yeah,
yeah,
it's very
yeah, yeah.
great. But phone pay is
Hmm.
more like colorful. It's purple, right? It's purple
Yes,
and
हाँ.
yes. It's very
very,
different.
yeah, very different from all their competitors. So I think that's how
Yes.
it's
Hmm.
out in a way. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, then I'll just sum it up. So, Aishu's favorite brand was Apple for their minimalistic qualities. And then Priyanshita said PhonePe and Paperboard. The Paperboard ka
Yeah,
I'll see,
Apple
go and
also,
see.
but I think, like, for personally, I feel Apple has seen a very
Yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
transition from from all the
हाँ,
design
like,
movements.
hmm.
Its
Yeah, yeah,
icon
yeah.
has seen a transition.
हाँ,
So
हाँ, बहुत
yeah,
ज़्यादा.
The thing is, they've kept it consistent throughout the years. It's not like they've
Hmm.
changed from their brand identity. They've refined it to a better version
yeah,
every time they.
yes, yes.
Yeah, true. Okay, I'll just move on to the next question, all right? So you may have seen there's this trend of small businesses popping up, like everybody's doing a small business, or maybe they are so maybe talented in one area that, or maybe a hobby that they are thinking of making it into a business, right?
Mm.
So, and I think in most of small businesses they want to like convey the luxury of their product, like it's handmade, it's made with love, right? So how do a brands, like what do you think, like how do a brand make it like luxury but make it approachable for the consumer, like it's not that expensive, we need it, like how do you convey that through like maybe visually or maybe like design? So yeah, that's my question.
I think there are different ways to approach it. Majorly, it all comes down to the product that you are trying to sell
Hmm.
to the customers or consumers. So,
Hmm.
what I suggest is if you see there is major transition from luxury to a easily accessible brand, right? Usually, it comes down to the price points of the products or the experience they're trying to sell. So I
Hmm.
would say you and also we can always have a moderate level by
Hmm.
having moderate level pricing, but giving a luxury level experience to the consumer.
Hmm.
So you can have
Hmm.
best of both in the same brand. It doesn't have to be like luxury brand, or it doesn't have to be like an inferior
Hmm.
brand. You can have both of these in the same
Hmm.
package. It like we
Hmm.
can pick and choose what are the items that you think are luxury to a client, like you think a luxury to the consumers. It's how you present your product, how you
Hmm.
like how you market your product, the way you're marketing, the
Hmm.
way your ad stand out from the other
Hmm.
competitors. It all
Hmm.
comes down to that.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, like I've seen so many brands do this, like especially the
Hmm.
small
Ha.
so
Businesses.
yeah, they say it's authentic. It's because it's a small business. They
Ha.
handle
Yeah.
it and
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
source everything locally. That's the like, criteria.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
see for small businesses, that is a luxury selling point that they're offering
Ha. Hmm.
consumers. That's
Hmm.
a large enterprise, like take Zara. They're also doing they're also sourcing it locally where they are manufacturing it. They're also like trying to be sustainable in the packaging clothes. And but again,
Hmm.
they provide a very high end price for the same thing.
Hmm.
So what you call luxury, whether it's the price point or whether it's the experience that you're providing. It all comes
Hmm.
down to. So I think, like I said, there are multiple ways you can approach the value of what you're providing for customers. It all comes down to mostly it comes down to budgets and what you have initially when you start up with small. So I would say that, and then slowly you build upon that and keep adding more experiences for your customers. That's how I would
Hmm.
categorize as something that is accessible. Yeah. What is your
Hmm.
yeah? What do you say?
Yeah, I think you touched upon on a lot of points with which I also agree. So when we
Hmm.
are saying luxury, I think you also mean premium,
Yeah.
like
Ha. Hmm.
luxury, but also premium. And
Premium.
then premium,
Hmm.
in premium, then you have to see that what is your target audience. So something
Hmm.
luxury or premium for me might not be
Hmm.
luxurious or premium for somebody else. So when you're
Yeah.
starting as a small business, all the small businesses that I have observed, they have a very
Hmm.
niche target audience. And then they
Yeah.
keep
Yeah. Yeah.
producing for that target audience, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
Yeah.
they
Hmm.
know that this is the audience who is gonna pay for what we are providing because they have done their research in that. Ki, like these
Hmm.
are the this is the product range that I'm gonna uh, like start, like what do you call it, launch out in the market for this time
Okay.
period, and my target audience is
Hmm.
this much. So in
Yeah. Yeah.
that, uh, a brand giving premium products. So
Hmm.
one thing is the budget factor, yes, but then you
Hmm.
also have to, like Aishwarya said, you also have to weigh between what are you exactly providing. Is the unique
Okay.
selling point only the product, or the perks
Hmm.
that comes with it, with the product? Sometimes when we are buying something from a small business, we also have the sense of community. Ki, like we
Yeah. Yeah.
belong to this
Hmm.
community, that
Hmm.
we are using this product is going to be helpful for me, and then there
Hmm.
are these people who also recommended this product, so a sense of community builds around it. Then there is word of
Yeah.
mouth, so all that sort of
Huh.
influences us to buy the product, yes.
Hmm.
But as a designer, what you can do to sort of
Hmm.
aid in all this, and
Hmm.
from what I have observed, and Aishwarya also told, first thing is when you are
Hmm.
launching out that product, you need to have consistency and harmony in the visuals that you're providing. So if there is a product,
Okay.
you need to have a photo shoot of that product, studio photo shoots,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
which looks professional. Then there are brands who do behind the scenes. So behind the
Ha. Ha.
scenes build the trust in your target audience. Ki like,
Yeah,
I'm
I think so
paying for
that.
this, and this is how it's being made.
Sorry.
And they become
Uh,
interested in the behind the
hmm.
scenes because of that.
Yeah.
So there is this brand. It's not a small business, but there's this brand called Nothing. They rolled out their earpods, and they rolled out their,
Nothing
Yeah,
phone. Hmm.
yes, Nothing
Yeah.
phone, right? It's not a small
Mm-hmm.
business, but then they are targeting a niche audience, and they are providing a
Yeah.
premium product which is new in the market,
Yeah.
which looks different from other
Mm-hmm.
things and all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how they have done it is, first thing is the designer is an X1 plus, right?
yeah,
So then it is there. So the designer already has a
in that.
trust build up in the market, and
Uh-huh.
the designer is rolling out new products. So people who are
Hmm.
interested in those kind of gadgets will now
Hmm.
start being interested in the product and
Buying
all.
it.
So
Uh,
yeah, exactly. So I
yeah.
guess for small businesses, building a sense of community around
Hmm.
becomes
Hmm.
like the key factor. Ki like, okay, these are the
Point.
people who will come to the brand, and then they will accept the brand for what it is. So finding those audience, then in terms of, say, so once you have the audience, you know what is the visual aesthetic that these audience like. Plus you have your keywords and vision for your own company, which
Mm.
you want to scale. Every business wants to scale, right? So bringing all these factors in, then you will design the logo, you will design the brand book, you will design the grids for, say, if you're starting out as an Instagram, so there are like Insta grids that you design. So this is the
Mm.
week in which these are the things that I'm gonna roll out. So all that stuff is there. Color wise, I would say you will have to do a market study of similar competitors. What are the colors they are adhering to, and what are the
Mhm.
colors that you want, and how to find a middle ground in between. mm, yeah, some of the trends are like gradient, pastels,
Yeah.
frosty looks, very clean,
Yeah.
very minimal.
And those ones, that beige
Beige,
Yeah,
following.
yes, yeah, yeah, earthy tones,
Black and yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, I guess like the brands, yeah, the first thing which I asked, like make it premium but like approachable. So making it premium, like Aishu said, like you have to set a price point and be it a niche, and making it approachable be like behind the scenes, or making like community around it, like
yeah.
the people you can, like they can see the process, and then that trust building thing, and then when whatever you sell, they'll they'll buy. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
Yeah.
that is very very niche product based brands. Like for example,
Mm,
I don't know if you guys come across this on socials. It's called
mm.
Muse. It's a sexual wellness.
yes.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
Yes,
they
I have
yes,
seen there as.
it's
Uh,
it is what they do. They have very minimal branding, and they also start a dialogue with just their branding, and it's very
yes,
interesting. Like
yeah,
I, like they talk about stuff. They break the stigma around the entire product
yeah,
that
yeah,
at the same
yeah.
time
Even
they
they do
yeah
they also do this sex education thing also.
yeah yeah
Like
yeah
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that.
They do it with good in like not just with their logo or anything like that. They do illustrations for starting a dialogue, or they're doing a
Hmm.
podcast like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
They
yeah.
make it as visual as possible for people to start talking about it, because that is a huge thing
yes,
in our country, and
Hmm.
it is
yeah,
very like it's a very small brand and comparatively pretty new. I think they started around last year or somewhere around COVID time,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they've nicely grown into a nice niche brand, and they're targeting good audience.
yes. There is also another, it's called Sangya Project. It's also around those same lines.
I've not heard about that,
And
but I the Muse because I
yeah,
was
Muse ka ads I have got, yes, but Sangya Project is the one that I
Yeah.
had first come across. And
Hmm.
Okay.
same thing, but what one important thing Aishwarya said was that creating a dialogue with your brand. How do you
Mm-hmm.
sell? Like, it needs to have a story. Where is the product coming from? Why do you need it? And the
Yeah.
whys and hows and all is what is going to
Mm-hmm.
connect the product with the brand with its target audience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. And also this
Yeah.
other brand, I was into fitness for a while. So I was looking into supplements that are organic, that are not, synthetic or anything like that. There is this other
Mm.
brand called Cosmix, which is a startup from Kerala, I think. So they have really good
Okay.
organic supplements. What I really liked
Mm.
about that brand, they provide a really luxury experience. Like, what do you say? Like, you don't know, you don't have anything, you don't have any idea about what you're supposed to be eating when you are like working out, or when you're like
Mm.
into fitness journey and all that, and you come
Mm.
across and they educate you on the whole what you need to be
Mm.
doing in order to, like, make the most out of your workouts, or or your health, everything in general. So they have a separate product for each and every part of your body. Like, say you're working out every day and you lose out on energy, they have a separate supplement, kind of a product that they have just for that particular task. So initially you will be overwhelming, when you have so many types of products that you don't know what to do with. So you have to do a lot of research. That they minimize it by educating you as an audience what you should be going for according to your needs, not just some brands just promote that do this and do that, and then they just try to sell the product. But what these guys are doing different is that they give you the options, and they also educate you of the options, so that you can pick and choose what you need as a consumer. It's not what the brand wants you to buy, it's what you would need from the brand. So I think they're also doing something very different and unique. And what I also think that they could be scaling into, have separate packaging for each and every product. Maybe they will do that, like, eventually in the future, because their products are really good, and they have a really good storyline for each and every product that can be developed into a nice graphic, visually, presentable packaging, or have a separate dialogue for each and every product. It's just nice what they're doing. It's a very small brand, but again, they're doing something different from all the other competitors in the market for them. So yeah, that's one of the things. That's one of the brands that caught my attention just for their branding voice and how they present their brands. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's nice. And I was thinking ki the talk you had just for like 10-15 minutes, I think it also answers the question like when a brand needs to start from the scratch. So like their checklist thing. I think
Yeah.
that was also covered in this thing also. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it pretty much sums up like how brands are like niche related, and people are interested in only one thing these days. They don't want like 100 things you're giving them and they have to choose from them. It's more like you're just giving one product, one push, and you're building a community around it and making them aware about it. So I think that's a nice thing for like small brands. And also like if they want it to in premium range and be approachable, so there are way arounds of that also. Like it's not like pehle ki tarah, like the if it's a premium brand it's like you can't even buy it. So now it's more like it is premium, and like people can buy and have an experience about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like fun discussion. Like I also learned new things. Okay, I'll just make it. Yeah.
No, no, no. I'm just saying I'm agreeing with you.
Acha.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay. So I'll just make it fun, sort of rapid fire, okay, like in the middle. So I'll just ask you few things, okay? I'll just give you what do you call that? Keyword, and you just tell me the first color that pops up into your mind, all right?
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you good? Like think of that like you're making a brand, and I'm just telling you, like as a client, like I want this brand to be this keyword, and what's the first maybe like color, or like how do you think about it? No, no, not how do you think about it, just color, okay? Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll say if I want the brand to be like simple, intricate, and minimal, are these three different terms? So I'll just choose intricate.
Okay. Integrate.
Copper.
Yep,
Yeah, I
copper.
would maroon or red or yeah, somewhere around those warm tone colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Earthy tone. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Let's say the brand wants to be masculine now.
Masculine. I would say
Hmm.
Masculine.
hmm, like
Like
it's for a
maybe gyms.
is that
Hmm?
Acha.
is that for men? Is that what you're trying to say? Masculine.
Only for men. But let's say the brand like Beardo.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I would
So,
say black, white, blue, something around those lines. Yes.
uh,
Yeah, that's
What
what my
comes to my mind is a little different though. Maybe a gray, like gradations from yellow to very saturated colors, like neons, neon
hmm.
pink or neon green with a combination of black or grays and combination of very saturated Pantone pigments that comes that
So you
might
are saying
because
maybe bold colors, like
yes,
bold
to like
colors.
to attract to give a different color palette to men's products because everywhere it's black and with that
Huh.
they have no other color other than maybe brown. Beardo is brown, I think, brown and black.
I don't know. I remember black. Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, like to give a different color palette because the thing that we are saying here has a very limited color palette. So yeah.
So PJ wants to change the narrative. Nice. Okay, so then
Oh yes.
we'll go to feminine, like maybe these products like Muse or like that, like maybe which only
oh,
females use.
it's a broad range of colors because we females like
Yeah.
everything, so we don't really
Yeah. I
have.
mean, we don't have a choice.
Okay, ठीक है. So we'll say colorful,
Yeah, color,
rainbow.
pop, yeah. It all
Yeah.
depends on the
Okay,
product, what they are trying to attract us into. So yeah,
Yes.
okay, nice.
but not
What
female.
if the brand? Yeah.
Sorry, like a lot of female
What would?
brands I've noticed have a very pastel, that very beige pastels, pinks, all that
I
kind
think
of.
orange is the new thing these days.
Yeah,
Like orange,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
है ना?
Orange with green, like complementary colors. Blue with
Yeah.
orange
Mm.
and hot pink, or orange or red.
Yeah.
The all those gradients are
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
trends these days.
Hmm. Yeah. Even I read somewhere like orange is the color you like use when you're making something about violence against women, like though in those lines also. So
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that's
Depends on the context, in which
uh,
context we are
yeah,
using again. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, now let's say the brand wants to be extravagant. Like you're saying like like those yacht clubs, maybe golf clubs, maybe like full, or maybe like you're going to casino. So like the brand wants to be extravagant. What colors would you use?
I would go again for very pop, warm colors because
Haha.
they're extra. So I would say
Hmm.
warm, anything from the warm color palette in the color spectrum, like orange,
Hmm.
red, pinks. I don't think much from blues or cooler tones because they're extra,
Hmm.
right? They're supposed to be fun and popping out of the
Yeah.
audience. Yeah. So whatever complements the warm tones, you can go with it.
ठीक है. Mm-hmm. PJ.
Mm, for me, I would say the first color when you say luxurious pops is
Hmm.
purple, because
Huh.
purple gives us a very mysterious and very, that
Hmm.
premium color that you see in all the
Pales.
high class. You also have a purple background,
Vistara.
yeah.
Yeah.
Vistara's
Vistara. Vistara.
branding has purple and
Yeah.
beige and all. So
Yeah.
that is there. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I'll say using a lot of textures,
Mm-hmm.
not just color, but also textures.
Mm-hmm.
You can play with textures when you say you're a luxurious premium brand. You
Mm.
can maybe scan the material and then use it in the uh,
Yeah.
visuals as is. Playing with colors,
Yeah.
I'll say gold. You can use gold
Oh
accents with a
yeah.
lot of color palettes,
Mm.
then it immediately gives a
Yeah.
very modern and minimalistic, mm, yet very luxurious feel to it. Mm, like there is
Mm-hmm.
also royal blue, which is a
Mm.
very which is
Ah.
a color which you associate with luxurious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll say to tie it all, gold, use gold because it's in the trend also.
Yeah, these days so it's all like beige tones. Like my Instagram is full of beige tones. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll move on to the next one. Let's say your brand wants to be sporty now. Sporty, like
Sport.
maybe cricket
Hmm.
clubs, like those in those
Like to
lines.
color these days. So
है ना? Like even I haven't seen a sport club or maybe like a brand who sells like sport equipments. है ना? Yeah.
No, you can consider Nike, Reebok, and Adidas to be the sports brands,
हाँ.
no? And they use a
But I
flush
think they
of.
are all black and white, है ना? Black
No,
and white.
no. So they how they use color is they will have themes. So they will have launches,
Hmm.
and each launch has a theme,
Ah,
and based on that they will
yeah.
decide the color. So sometimes it's like
Hmm.
red, like flushes of red or flushes of neon, or sometimes they
Yeah.
will use holographic colors, holographic
And lot of patterns.
pigments, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
iridescence, to give that
So
look.
basically making it playful, like lot of
Yeah,
things to
like,
look at.
yeah, you can stick with themes, and
Yeah.
uh, that becomes like an escape, not escape, that
Hmm.
becomes like a tactic you can use, like use a theme, then you can give a color automatically. What
Yeah.
happened?
Acha. I think she was stuck. She'll join back. Okay. Fine. I'll have to ask her sporty. Can you differentiate between elegant and extravagant and luxury? Or are these same?
No, I mean
Just
you can
for my
definitely
information.
definitely differentiate elegant, extravagant, and
Luxury.
luxury.
what's the topic?
Uh,
What's
Aishu,
Huh.
yeah.
can you differentiate between a brand being elegant or extravagant or luxury? Are these three different or are these same? Is
They're,
what I want to ask for myself.
they're different in very niche, very
Ways, yeah, like
Niche
there is a
thing.
very thin line between them.
yeah, thin
Thin. Okay,
between.
fine.
Yeah, but again
Mm-hmm.
it depends on like
Mm.
so everything becomes contextual. You have a context, then it becomes easy to differentiate. So for example, say a jewelry brand, it can be elegant, it can be
Hmm.
extravagant, and it can be
Hmm.
luxurious. It's all three at the same time sometimes.
Yeah, I
But
get it.
then,
I get your point. Hmm.
yeah, but then you have beauty brands, which
Mm,
some
Hmm.
are
yeah.
very elegant, but they are not extravagant. Then there are some which are extravagant and luxurious, like Huda Beauty, or like all the premium brands that
The
makeup
Katrina
artists use
Kaif
and
का
all.
था K
Yeah,
K.
yeah,
हाँ.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, and
But
then you
sugar
have
sugar comes in approachable, right? Like because they
sugar
have
comes in
low price points.
approachable.
हाँ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Sugar, you can't say it's falls under luxurious,
They're
but then it
very
Hmm.
also has a USP, like it's like a premium approachable.
Yeah, it's like
Bring
the
the
ladies who are like,
quality of their products. They bring the
Yeah.
premium,
hmm,
the quality of their products, but their branding is very approachable. Like they attract
huh.
Yes.
smart.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I got your point. Okay, then let's move on. What if you want to make your brand serious?
See, I don't think brands want to be serious these days.
Let's say you want to make them safe. Like maybe they are dealing with cybersecurity, or like let's say the VPN companies, or
What
these
you mean is
payment
maybe make the
gateways.
brand formal? Do you mean
Yeah,
like make the brand
Yeah,
formal? Hai
kind
na?
yeah,
of
yeah.
like
Hmm.
Yeah. So maybe
I,
use a lot
I,
of
I
edges.
yeah, I
I
again
don't know.
as a designer.
My mind gets stuck at blue. Like whenever I think of it, I just go to blue. That's all.
Yeah. Uh, but then what you can do is you can make consecutive color palettes with blue
Hmm.
and with different
Hmm.
colors. Use the color theory to your advantage. See ki,
Uh,
like maybe go to Pinterest, just type blue,
hmm.
and then you see all the different images that comes in. Then you can
Huh.
make a mood board out of it and see if it is
Hmm.
matching with you know your
Hmm.
cybersecurity, or like making the brand formal and stuff like that.
Hmm.
What comes to my head along with blue, like if you have seen the branding of Razor Pay, they have a very edgy as well as a very formal brand look to themselves. um but as well as they have a design team which is like very funky, and then they try to advertise themselves as a very approachable company and
Hmm.
all. So
Yeah.
blue, but then
I don't,
there is like warm blues, cool blues, just the primary blue. So it's like a whole spectrum to it. So yeah.
I think
Mm,
Yeah.
while I was like talking about this, like, what do you think about cred color
Hello.
blue? Like, it's also.
yeah.
Can you hear us? We can hear you. Or you gone now? We lost you. And she's pouting. Yeah,
Work from home.
yeah, no? Like, I wanted to ask about
Work
the
from
cred
home works.
brand. No.
Cred. I
Hmm.
feel they need a little bit of consistency in their
Oh, yeah.
brand language. I
Who?
just feel it's all over the place. There is
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
how to use
contrast.
that. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
how to use
exactly.
that app. What do I do?
Their visual hierarchy in the app, like the color hierarchy, the line quality hierarchy, everything seems little not in harmony
Aishu,
for me. हाँ बोलो बोलो.
Aishu, we
Which
are
brand?
discussing
Which
about
brand?
cred. Cred,
Cred.
cred.
Red.
Huh.
Yeah,
Huh.
man, they're all over the place. I completely
Yeah,
agree. Like
I
I
just
think
feel they need a.
this happens when there are multiple teams that don't coordinate with each other when it comes to branding. They each do
Hmm.
separate things and call it this is branding.
And then they put it in the app as well, and I'm like, what
Go
is
forward.
happening?
They're
I
very
haven't.
inconsistent with
I'm using that app, but I don't know how to use it. Huh.
The perks of the app, like the idea, is very good.
Hmm.
I use it. I pay my credit card
Hmm.
bills through Cred, and they give
Same.
some, what do
I
you
don't
call
know.
it,
I just
points.
keep playing games. Like some days I'm
Yeah,
like like what's happening? I just keep playing games.
exactly.
That's
And then the user flow in it, like to go from say the reward to finding where the reward is, or like how to use it, and all, it's little all over the place.
uh, yeah, yeah.
If anybody
True,
is
true.
listening from Cred, please.
Sure. Uh, like I don't know if they can. By the way, Lo, Aisha, are you there?
She is serving nukes.
Hannah? I really like it. Mm. All right. We have one consistent viewer with us. Are you guys watching or is it new someone else? Okay. All right. Aishu, are you there now? So I'll just
Yeah.
come to the last one. So have like we are saying minimal all over the place. So yeah, so even brands which are like Yves Saint Laurent YSL brand. They also are doing this weird minimal thing. Then Burberry also went into that minimal.
Yeah.
Like every brand just I don't know how to say it. Like they want to go to open sans somehow, or maybe Helvetica, but I don't think like that's worth it. Like, what do you think? Like, should they do minimal or should they just keep it as it is? Like, what's your say? Hmm.
Again, it's depending upon what they're trying to give to the audience and how they want to be
Hmm.
perceived by the audience. But
Hmm.
I think, yeah, when you say minimal, there are set fonts that termed as
Huh.
minimal. Very
Yeah, like every time I open Twitter, some brand is going Helvetica. Like I like them. Like YSL ka branding I liked so much. Even Burberry ka font. I was like, why are they doing this to their brand? Like even those M&M's ka they changed their everything. Sorry for the international brands, but they come across into my Twitter. But yeah, so it seems like big brands are going into like this minimal sort of thing, but I don't think like what do you think like from designer perspective? Like should they do it or uh,
no. I mean,
are they
my
like
perspective, I would never want the brands to go for the same thing over
huh
and over. I
hmm
want them to explore new stuff. I want to break
hmm
and you can explore into new avenues and brands. But again, I think it
hmm
comes from a point of convenience. Like even
hmm
if I want to give you an example, Chumbak, everyone knows Chumbak, right? As an
huh
Indian,
hmm
they recently did a change from old typography that was handmade typography. That
huh
now can share it because it's just a convenience. Like now they're going global and they are into
hmm
more. They're like probably bringing in more products, and that old logo that they had first initially when they started up may not be
hmm
used on every single product consistently well enough. So they would
hmm
probably want to size down their logo, make it more minimal, make it more standard, so that it's easy to slap it across 10,000 products and they can it comes
uh
from a convenience that the brands are doing these changes to their branding.
hmm
But there are ways to explore convenient typography with how to with while being minimal. So it's not just. I think I would just say that designer is being lazy when they're doing the changes, but then it again comes to entirely the brand's decision. Usually, brands do these changes when they're at a certain level, when they're at a certain scale. So they do this
hmm
change because they want to scale up more and usually
hmm
scale up into more avenues, more reaching more customers, reaching all
hmm
age group customers. It's not just a niche target anymore. It's more a broad audience. So that time they make these
hmm
standardized brandings because it appeals to everyone, all regardless of which age you are. So I
hmm
think brands that's why they do these changes. But if you are into the entry level or mid level brands, I think you can still continue to explore this in a much easier. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
There's
like the
also a
lazy
factor
part.
of
Hmm.
what?
The lazy part.
The thing is, these decisions does not always stay with the designer. There
Yeah.
are
That,
art directors,
Hmm.
there are
Yeah.
design managers, there are manager like brand managers. So they decide the narrative sometimes. They because they
Hmm.
have a segmented target audience and they are trying to change the narrative. So for brands which are already established, when they are doing it, most of the times they are trying to approach a new target audience or they're giving it a fresh
Wow.
look. For example, Zara. Zara had a
Correct.
serif typeface, and then they, in order to approach it to more millennials, they made it
Hmm.
more, constricted. So the serif
Okay.
before was a little thick, and then when they changed, the
Transition.
serif
Huh.
become, it was very thin. The contrast between the thick strokes and the thin strokes was a lot. So
Like
that
balance.
gives, yeah, so
Hmm.
that gives a feel, like that will appeal to the millennials, because we are visually acquainted with seeing that kind of
Hmm.
word mark, like those kind of logos. Then what Aishwarya said was also correct, like convenience, whether it is becoming monetarily viable for the brand to
Hmm.
make the logo, what do you call it, flexible with all materials, because it's going to be printed across various things.
Different
So
medias.
yeah, so cost comes. So if it is becoming very much like very
Hmm.
difficult for it to be flexible in that part, then they might go for a sans serif or open sans, because it's easy. It is
Hmm.
visually, there is no visual clutter, and
Hmm. Hmm.
it is easy to be manufactured across materials. You don't have that top
Yeah.
little serif thing that you have to, manufacture, and then so when it is getting printed, there are different printing medias in which
Hmm.
the precision might go when you're doing that. For even for
Hmm.
chumbak, the
Yeah.
Ah.
precision might go when you are going from different one material to the another. Then
Yeah.
again, so yeah, so they might go standard, and for brands already established, uh, like they have to make a very conscious decision of changing it. For example,
Hmm.
Godrej ka branding has not changed over years, but it is it is one of the most profitable brand in the
Yeah. Hmm.
consumers line still.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And it
Thank
is
God they
for the
didn't change. I
I mean,
like
if
it.
they change,
Hmm.
people would not recognize it, and then they, like, out of
Ah.
sight, out of mind kind of thing would
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
So, yeah, I
If
mean,
they
it,
go minimal, I'll cry. Hmm. Or
and
maybe
then
if
they
they just
have
remove
their
those.
products manufactured like a year before. So, if they're doing it, so they have to
Yeah.
manufacture the logo in metal across
Ah.
appliances. It's like a
Yeah.
headache
Yeah. Yeah.
to
True.
change.
Hmm. True.
And the
So
True.
brand
these
is so
decisions are like very consciously done for like over
Hmm.
years, like with over years of research goes into it before doing it. So it
Hmm.
is not always with the designer. They can give their
Hmm.
perspective, yes, but
Hmm.
it is always a collective decision, because it's about a company, and company is made out of people,
Hmm.
right? And it is for people again. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yes,
Yeah. True. True.
that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Yeah. They were nice. Like I like it. So yeah, so the conclusion is like, yeah, you can go minimal for the like the thing if it's easy for them to, print across different medias or use it across different medias. But it's better to be authentic sometimes, like different from the market for their like brand recognition and brand reputation. I'll just so I think we are pretty much summed up, and whatever questions I wrote later are just answered in these big ones, the full discussion we did. So yeah, I think let Aishu come back. Hmm.
Yes. I feel my
I'll
entire
do.
first year and second year revision happened in this.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Aishu, I was saying ki so that's it. Like basically we covered everything, whatever I had written for the questions. Even the last ones they were answered in the bigger discussions. So I'll just wrap it up and maybe we can come with I'll come with more questions for the next session because I think this is a long topic. Yeah, and there are so many perspectives, like so many like different angles to the same thing. Like how
Yeah.
even we discussed for the color theory, there were like different perspectives. So I think we can do another one on the same topic, but with more more refined questions. Yeah. So how did you feel like coming on the show and like, discussing this thing, which is like major to
I,
your businesses as well?
yeah, this is a very important topic, and I wish more brand entrepreneurs like look into this. They're doing when they're
Yeah.
starting, because usually what happens is they bring a product and the branding is the last thing on their mind, and they just go in the last minute, slap a logo or a word mark and just launch it.
Yeah.
I don't
Hmm.
blame them because initially it is little hard with the product.
Hmm.
But then later on, slowly when they're trying to establish themselves, have a separate identity from their competitors, they do realize how
Hmm.
much brand is. So I think it's a very
Hmm.
important topic and more people should be educated in this. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's not, and more
Yeah.
be aware that branding is not just a logo or
Yeah. Yeah. We are losing you.
that. A lot of times,
Yeah.
what
Ah,
happens is people just think,
Ayo.
lost you
yeah,
again.
am I audible now?
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Hmm.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, I think a lot of people are not aware what branding really is. They just think it is
Hmm.
just a logo or a word mark and that's it. That's about it. That's what
Hmm.
branding is. But it's more than that. It's a whole experience. But yeah, I think it's a
Hmm.
very important dialogue. It's been nice. This whole thing
Yeah.
was really nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Aishwarya.
Hmm.
Like
You wanna add something?
branding.
Hmm.
Yeah. As in,
Hmm.
it's when we are talking about a brand,
Hmm.
it is like we as designers know what branding is, and people
Hmm.
associated with us, they know what branding is. More than branding, I would like to use the term visual identity, because we are
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
give an identity to a organization or a company.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
more than just, so branding is, yes, the term that is usually used, but we, like in terms
Hmm.
of core graphic design language or like visual communication language, it's visual identity that we're trying to design. And then in that
Hmm.
identity a lot of things come. So logo design is a part of that. So then how do you scale it up and everything? um I feel like whoever listens to this would obviously be educated to some extent. They might get confused. Sorry about that. For certain things, because it's a very vast topic, and talking about it
Uh-huh.
in 54 minutes is like not enough.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
awareness should be created around it, like the importance of it, especially for small businesses, because they're starting out small, and how they would
Hmm.
like to use branding to their advantage.
Yeah.
So
True. True.
yeah, hope it
Yeah, I
helps.
think we have our work cut out for the next stream. We'll talk about the small businesses, and then for now, it's just that. Okay, then. Hmm. Kar do bye. Like,
Yes.
bye bye. Okay,
Bye
then.
bye.
That's all for today. Bye. You, you stay.
Okay.
I'll